Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is October 26th, 2025, and this is episode 114 of The Roads Not Taken, which is a weekly series where we go over the news that was unreported, underreported, didn't get the coverage we thought it deserved, or we just found it interesting. And then we go through a few questions from y'all. Today is October 26th, and today is National Pumpkin Day. And on this date in 1861, the Pony Express officially ended. And starting with foreign policy, U.S. influence in Southeast Asia is collapsing, and China's filling the vacuum. Trump is expected to try to patch it up, but he's facing an uphill climb. Trump has imposed sanctions on Colombia's president. You know, when considering military action in one country, it's always a good idea to anger a neighboring country. Trump deployed a carrier to the waters near Venezuela. Congress seems unwilling to check Trump's march toward an unnecessary war. There are a number of indications that Trump is preparing to target substance production facilities, or trying to topple Maduro. Trump has also imposed some sanctions on Russian oil. We got a question about this and secondary sanctions, so I'll try to get a full video out about that. Sweden has offered Ukraine a deal for 150 advanced fighter jets. Can't wait to get comments about that and my tiny little lady brain. In U.S. news, on Friday, the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals stayed the order that was issued on Monday by a panel of 3 judges within the circuit. In short, Trump is once again blocked from deploying troops to Portland. Trump dropped his plans to surge troops or federal law enforcement to San Francisco. Newsom said Trump is trying to rig the election through poll monitors. Jeffries finally endorsed Mondami. U.S. District Court Judge Sarah Ellis ordered Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino into her court on Tuesday at 10 a.m. after an incident involving tear gas. This is the judge that ordered restrictions on federal law enforcement in Chicago. She seems even more irritated by the apparent disregard for her court orders than before. According to an Ipsos analysis, Trump's approval rating is now net negative on the topics of crime, immigration, foreign policy, prescription drug policy, national politics, employment and jobs, rule of law, international trade, corruption, the U.S. economy, health care, cost of living, inflation, and Epstein. Congressional Republicans are telling the press they expected Democrats to cave by now. They seem legitimately surprised Democrats aren't helping them get health care for millions. Harris seemed to indicate she might run again. Republicans are still refusing to allow Arizonans to be represented in Congress by refusing to swear in their elected representative. I guess they don't actually care about the Republic. In cultural news, due to an ad in Canada featuring President Reagan, some Americans are starting to realize exactly how far Trump has taken the Republican Party from its core beliefs. Right-wing internet personality Tomi Lahren went off on a profanity-laden rant about Trump's attack on cattle ranchers. She's just the latest right-wing personality to significantly break with Trump. In science news, Trump plans to allow offshore drilling off the coast of California. Coffee-driven deforestation is making it harder to grow, coffee. Less rainforest leads to drought. Drought is bad for coffee. Napoleon's retreat from Russia was plagued by something other than winter's cold. DNA testing demonstrated they were being hit by paratyphoid fever and relapsing fever. 1 in 5 UTIs has been connected to E. coli in meat. I am sure that has nothing to do with a lax inspection process. In economic news, inflation went up last month, but because it grew by less than expected, people with rose-colored glasses are seeing it as a good sign. China's new 5-year plan at its core demonstrates a belief that China has a huge advantage. Trump continuing to weaken the United States. China plans on expanding and filling the vacuum created by Trump's foreign policy and international trade failures. Bananas have been seen as inflation-proof. Well, Trump broke that too. Inflation for bananas is up almost 5.5% since Trump announced his tariffs. Trump's feud with the deceased president continues to escalate, with Trump saying Reagan was bad at trade. In oddities, a 13-year-old boy in New Zealand had to have surgery to remove about 100 magnets from his bowel after swallowing them. The reporting doesn't say why he swallowed them, but the situation has caused an international incident because they were sent reportedly in violation of New Zealand's laws by Temu. On to the Q&A. Our first question. I want a link to your tractor and lawn ornament review channel. Okay, so I don't actually have one of those. That was just something that a commenter made up as an insult, I guess. But I mean, I'd do a homestead product review. That sounds like fun. Dear Belle, I live in Europe, and I'm worried that Russia might do something drastic now that the war isn't going in their favor. But so like your Canada video question, I want to know why Trump seems so bent on supporting Russia and Putin, or at least mirroring their talking points. Trump likes other authoritarians. He views Putin as somebody to look up to. Trump also seems to be very influenced by propaganda. I mean, this is the guy that wants to send troops into Portland over footage from 5 years ago. Sophisticated propaganda is certainly going to influence him. Longtime listener from Sweden here, first-time writer. I very much appreciate your no-nonsense takes on U.S. politics. I don't think we're politically aligned on all issues, but I think we agree on much more than we disagree. I've seen posts making the rounds on Facebook, which outlines a series of reasons for Speaker Johnson to keep the House on hiatus for much, much longer. According to this post, Johnson not opening for pro forma sessions or posting a congressional calendar means the representatives can't do their jobs of providing oversight. Is this fear-mongering or is it true? Is there any legal way to force the Speaker to call the House back into session? Are there any downsides for Johnson in doing this? Basically, is this a real worry? So, Johnson is absolutely interfering with oversight and the functioning of Congress. There's not any hard rules about how long he can do this, outside of what the public will put up with, which could be a lot. The Speaker really seems to be ignoring his duty to the country as a whole and only listening to Republicans. How do you not let comments like the ones from the Tomahawk video get you down? There's a number of things, but I'm not sure how much is directly transferable to other fields. So, the positive reactions always greatly outnumber the negative. And most of the time, the comments that are negative are just objectively wrong. And then it's just a matter of remembering that what we do matters. The first time I had a video go out late, I got bombarded with messages. And that is, I think, when it really hit me how important what I'm doing is. Just to know that people recognize when I'm not there, that I am important and that my message is important, and they're patiently waiting for those production times. I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks the first time. So it's knowing that it's important and people are waiting. And I do appreciate y'all so much. So that looks like it. A little more information, a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good day.